So I guess kind of just to get a basis. So it's obviously been a while since we did another lesson. How have you been feeling with your general gameplay? What do you feel like? You know, or do you have areas in mind that you'd like to try and strengthen, or areas that you're struggling with? Let's uh,
Uh,
let's let's talk about that.
I think like approaching in general, and then like securing kills because I don't know. I always feel like I let people get to
Okay.
absurdly high defense, and then like either get bodied because they have rage,
Yeah.
or
Okay.
they just get a lot more time to come back.
All right. We'll get a couple games and I'll see kind of how you're handling certain things like that, and we'll go from there.
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
So,
That's
oh, you're
fine.
bad. Oh my God, I thought you were dead. Oh wow. I was like, all right, yeah, let's keep talking with him. You're like, no, no, I'm still here.
I thought I was dead too. Ooh.
Um, so right at the gate, something really big that I'm noticing is you don't approach a lot, and I know you said that, right? But like,
Yeah.
I want to know why you tend to not approach. Like, this is gonna sound a little weird, I guess, but a lot of Game and Watches, even the good ones, they are really aggressive in the sense that they will always press their buttons. They don't care. There's no hesitation. Like it's the up beat down air onto the platform. It's the constant back air pressure when you're off stage. It's constantly poking with that. But you just feel like you're pulling your punches all the time, and I'm not sure why.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. No, it's fine if you don't know. It's just it's something to think about. Maybe in these next few games, don't go like crazy aggressive if you're not sure of how to play, but you need to get out of that comfort zone because it feels like you're just trying to stay in an area where you have control, so to speak. But
Yeah.
that's not pushing the limits of your character. I mean, you can get a combo. Like, you went for a couple bears off stage, and I think you hit me with one and all that and killed me, but overall I wasn't feeling too threatened. I don't think you almost ever down aired on stage, and it's like, it's not something you would do all the time, but just using those options at your disposal. It just felt like you were constantly just waiting in neutral, maybe throw out a fair every now and then or a dash attack, or like a run F tilt, but I wasn't really threatened. I'm not sure if you watch a lot of other Game and Watch players, but if you do, just paying attention to kind of how they do stuff. I know I played Meister the other day, and he was no slouch with his A button.
Yeah. That is not what I want. Okay.
honestly, you were doing much better that game. I felt like um, you were kind of getting out of your comfort zone in the sense that you would press a little more buttons. You were recognizing like, okay, I could go retreat here, but I don't really need to. And you were getting a lot of those platform poking airs, things like that, trying to pressure me. You got some really good back airs off stage, and I felt like you were a little bit more aggressive in that sense. Unfortunately, at the end there, you just probably weren't keeping an eye on my lineup. Blue comes out, bam, you're dead. And it's hard too when I'm like, I pluck it and then I go for it. It's not like it's been sitting there, so that's just one of those Olimar specific. Got to try and be extra ready. But overall, I thought you were doing a lot better. I think you still need to kind of find your perfect rhythm. I mean, do you feel like something that's important to keep in mind too is you're playing Game & Watch and you mentioned how like you won't be able to get a kill and then rage will kick in and then you'll die. I mean, that's the one of the downsides of playing a light character like that. I have it to happen to me even as Olimar sometimes, where I can't kill them or they get like a ton of percent and then I die dumb early because I'm super light. So that is one of the downsides of that type of character, but there's also kind of a positive to that in the sense that let's say you're fighting someone and you're at like 50 or 60 and you've just been chunking them with light hits, getting them up to like 150, 160. Eventually they will die, right? You might not be able to find those openings to where you can hit your smash attack or your tilt or whatever kills, but if you're constantly kind of outplaying them, outpacing them in that neutral back and forth, and you're winning those exchanges, eventually that stray nair is going to kill. Eventually that stray grab is going to kill, or the back air or whatever it is, right? So that will build to something, and you might just have to play in a way that's a little bit more patient, or not show your hand too early and go for some crazy, big punish like a smash attack or something, where they get a chance to punish. You might just have to play a little bit slower. That's something I've had to really implement into my game plan against certain characters, because a valid strategy is literally living long enough until your opponent fucks up, and that's what they might be doing against you. So don't give them that chance.
Wow, okay. Didn't know you could combo off that.
Oh yeah, he can combo off every single one of the smashes. Gotta be careful when you're going out, like, where am I in relation to you? Because if I'm right below, if you're going for anything but down air, there's a good chance my up air is just gonna win. Oh. I feel like, one, I can definitely tell you're a little bit scared to be around me, especially at those kill percents, which I understand. I hit really hard, and I, I just, I broke your shield, so I've got a little bit of a beat on what you want to do. But as kind of crazy as this sounds, what's stopping you from just, or what is your thought process in against the idea of just like, if you're around me, literally letting it up be rip? I probably am not going to punish it. Like, I think I'm just fundamentally too slow to punish like a raw up, even if I parry it. I could be wrong, but it's like in most circumstances on a platform stage, you have a lot of just get away from me, get away from me, get away from me. But you opt to like recover high when you're off stage. You don't even want to go to the ledge. You don't want to be around me at all. And I don't know if that's just because you're scared of like interacting or you're just unsure. So if you have an idea, I'd definitely like to hear it.
Definitely scared of purple.
Okay.
Probably could be.
I
But
mean, do you, Olimar aside, do you tend to be scared against other characters? Actually, you know what? I want to try a couple games of different characters, just kind of remove that kind of specialty character and give you something a bit more general, like a strong character, but one who's not going to be like, oh, I have to fear this one win condition. You know what? We'll use Wolf. Like, why do you tend to be so scared? Because you don't want to die, or is it because you don't know what's going to happen?
mostly because I don't know what's gonna happen.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of the times you can pay attention to where we're at. Like, if I'm, if you're off stage and I'm at, like, around the ledge, there's only so many options I can do. I can do an aerial, usually an up air or a back air if I want to try and catch you from below. I can do, like, an up smash if you're trying to land on me. That'll clink with my attacks. Like, but you don't have to worry about, like, a lot of those other moves most of the time. You don't have to worry about my jabs or my tilts most of the time, especially if you're coming down with something like a down air, because you can space it in a way to where it comes down with most of the hitbox, and then you have, like, virtually no lag when you land. So there are those ways to do it, and yes, if I'm perfect, I can punish you, but I mean, that's the nature of Smash Brothers. It's like the who wins that singular interaction by getting a leg up. But when you're getting scared or when you're hesitating, you either do two things. You either blow your entire, like, your advantage or what tools you have too early, like when you're up being mad high, when you're not even, you're not even on the stage yet, and then you're drifting down. It's like, I guess you're getting back, but then you're not. It doesn't solve the problem, because then I just run to the other side of the stage, and now we're back to square one. Like I follow you. Or you wait too long, and that hesitation ends up messing you up because you're second guessing, and that time you're wasting is a time for me to punish. So you need to be confident in what you're doing, and it's okay to be wrong, right? It's okay to be like, I think this is going to happen, and then you're wrong, and then you ask yourself after, if it doesn't go right, you're like, well, why didn't that work there? And you try and figure it out, but you need to at least be confident in whatever you do. No, chill. trade that way, but I'll take it. So, my difference in competency with characters aside, you played that so much more comfortable. Is that 'cause it's a character you know better, or is it just what we talked about? Like, why were you more like in control
I
there?
know his win conditions a whole lot better, and I feel like I can just kind of hold shield and get away with a lot more. Cause like versus Olimar, oh, he has 2 purples, he's gonna throw one move, like pop
Yeah.
right here, and
Well,
I can just hold
so
shield. And,
so treat you can do that against Olimar to some degree. Obviously, you can't hold shield forever. I'll break it or whatever, but
yeah,
it's a similar principle. You need to look at your win condition, map out a game plan. If that's something that you're going in without, you need to kind of sit down after the fact, before the fact, if you know you're fighting this character, or go on and develop them, and then you'll be able to kind of come up with it. So for Olimar, for instance, you're saying, oh, he has purples, he has this. Okay, so Olimar's shield pressure is very weird in the sense that it's good in some ways and bad in others. So what's a move that you don't like getting hit on shield that you feel is really, really problematic by
the
Olimar?
down.
The down smash?
Yeah,
Okay, so down smash is not safe. It will break your shield if I double purple you or double purple red or something that's charged. It can break your shield at full, right? But I have to one run into you and then oftentimes turn around. I have to like do a running turnaround down smash to be right on top of you and then down smash, right? And then if I do that, I'll break your shield. In the time I'm running in and down smash is frame 10, right? So I have to run in, down smash out it. You see me run in, be like, nope, I'm out.
okay.
Right? Like, you get out of there. So that's not safe. So you have forward air and back air with Olimar. Those can be safe, except against Game & Watch they're not, because you have a frame 3 up B. So my safest, quote-unquote safest move is -3, and it's a purple back air perfectly spaced. I have one move that's safer in terms of frame rate than that, and that's if I throw a purple side B from a distance to where it's like I'm back into my neutral stance. Or I'm back into neutral after it's thrown because it's taken so much distance, and then I can create actual block strings. But Game & Watch has the luxury of an absurd out of shield game, so you don't have to play those games. Someone hits your shield, you go, nah man, I'm out. Most moves are not that safe.
Yeah.
So you need to develop a game plan and feel comfortable in those aspects, because if you're second guessing, it's going to mess you up. If you're not sure, if you play with the same confidence you play Wolf here, even if you're wrong, you can fill in the blanks as you're learning. That's what the point of a coaching session or friendlies is to reinforce your game plan and strengthen your matchups.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, mix up on me. Wow. Okay. See what I mean? You're always going high. You're burning your resources because you're scared of going, using the other aspects. And I get it, but it's something you can't always do. That's really surprising.
I'm also not used to people like punishing it a lot of the time, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's one of those things that a lot of players just don't do. But that's
Yeah.
what I'm here for, is to be ready
Yeah.
to do. I honestly God thought I was landing on the platform. But yeah, no, that's, I mean, I saw some change of pace there. Like, you started out being really early, right? Or like being whenever I'd hit your shield, and then I started punishing you, right? Like I'd jump up there, I'd do something, and you were like, okay, don't do that. But then off stage, you would just opt for the high, because you don't want to get down smash, you don't want to get F tilt or whatever, right? And then it's just like, it's good that you're having to change that up. I don't want you to get in this one specific like strategy. So you're gonna have to gauge in the moment like what's better, and if you got someone who's scouting out those high recoveries and they're up there, and Wolf is a high mobility character, you need to be ready to change it up on the fly. I don't even know how you're dodging half these grabs.
Okay, so I think because of like how the animation for this character, that is not what I wanted. Like the animation for this character work on specifically dash attack, he like teleports for a frame.
Oh, that's weird.
It's kind of similar to like Fox side B, like he goes so fast.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm so used to every Wolf spot dodging there that I haven't gotten that.
I'm mad that I didn't die.
I know. I want to know how that works. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't, to my knowledge, I'm just that disjointed.
Yeah. Okay, dang.
Oh, yeah. All right. I'll really catch you on the way up. Alright, I'm gonna try swapping because clearly my wolf's not cutting it, but I'm not gonna go back to Olimar. I want to try a few different other top tiers and just keep you kind of seeing how you're gauging them. Because I think Olimar would be the easy way out, to just be like, yep, you don't know this, and then you have to spend an hour really trying to get comfortable. And I'll definitely go Olimar again, but I think you'll benefit more from kind of flexing your muscles with other stuff. Yep, plenty of generic top tiers to make you work. But no, I mean, I think you do really good when you're kind of in your comfort zone and you know your game plan, but you might just need to sit down and kind of develop those game plans for a lot of other characters, or kind of really pay attention to what their flaws are and see how you can work them. Because even going back to the initial problem you kind of talked to me about, you were like, you don't know, you feel like you can't kill, or maybe you don't approach enough, and that's probably coming from just like a lack of understanding. Because there's definitely a time and place to not approach, but oftentimes if you're not doing it because you explicitly want to play defensive, you want to camp, then it's usually from you just don't know. Spot dodge. So that was almost like a night and day difference. Do you? I guess let's preface. How do you feel against Lucina in general? Do you have a similar game plan to Wolf? Maybe not as refined, but you have an idea, or?
It's not the same game plan, but I also didn't really do it well.
What's up? Sorry,
I don't play it out well, you know? Because I'm supposed to do a lot more bear, and I did not.
the thing to look at is, like, you can't apply the same concepts to it, right? So you would, Lucina might have less movement, so I wasn't always able to punish, like your upbeats out of shield or things like that. But I have that range, so I can come at you and go, hey, respect this option. Or I can be a lot more aggressive off stage when you're trying to recover. And you saw that I intercepted you that first stock, and you ended up dying because you were trying to stall out there, do whatever your recovery was. And I was like, what are you doing? I'm gonna kill you. So you have to change up your game plan accordingly, but you still need to kind of build that foundation. So when you're fighting, Lucina, what do you feel are some strengths that you have at your disposal?
I mean, like keeping her in disadvantage, and I should be able to go off if I play it right. But
Okay. I mean, it's hard, obviously, with good DI
yeah.
or mix-ups or Wi-Fi. There's a lot of variables in there, but having that game plan is really good. So if you feel like your advantage state's really good, or you can kind of keep her struggling there, that means you need to play your neutral and your disadvantage in a way to try and reinforce that. You need to be very slippery in your disadvantage. So maybe you'll work on going those really low recoveries and then trying to be straight to the ledge so you can snap there. Or maybe you'll try and do like an air dodge mix-up with your bucket after you kind of get some height, stuff like that, but you can't kind of be just sitting there. And then in neutral, the approaching aspect, it can be hard to approach Lucina on like any character. She is literally a wall. So what you might have to do is, you could try to incorporate some shields or some parries, like running in like that, let her shield. If she's doing a rising aerial, it's not safe most of the time. And then let me pull up her numbers real quick on her actual aerials when they're based, because like you're probably gonna be able to punish a lot of things if you're close enough. So her down tilt's -8. So obviously if she's far away, you're not gonna be able to punish that. The range just isn't gonna work. But if you're up close, you can beat that no problem. That's -8. And if she goes for down tilt, that's 15 frames you have to work with. So if you're up close, you can do a lot of stuff. I mean, you could even try and, jump out of shield if your back's to her and try and back air. That might work. I'm not sure if it'll catch her, depending on her crouching animation. But most of her grounded attacks, not safe. Her aerials, on the other hand, they can be pretty safe. Neutral air is -4, -3, fair is -6, back air is 5. Once again, though, it's paying attention to that distance thing. Like, are you close enough? All right, you get your punish. If not, it's okay to hold shield. Like at the end there, right, when you came up and you down smashed me, I think it was, and then you spot or F tilt or something, then spot dodge and all that, and then I just stood there.
Yeah.
Waiting. I was like, all right. Like that patience, I was comfortable where I was at, and yeah, she has shield breaker and stuff like that, but that's pretty much the only move she's going to be doing that's going to be breaking your shield. So you need to have confidence in there. So in your neutral, you might have to be a little bit more slippery, find your ways in, maybe use an up smash invincibility, like run in under her, beat out her move, use like weird falling angles of back air to catch her, stuff like that. But you got to get tricky with it and kind of keep her guessing just as much as yourself in that sense. I like the retreat there, not overextending anything. Nice.
Out of that.
Right there, I down aired you at a spacing where you just can't punish, but you went to act.
Yeah.
Oh. Nice parry.
Okay. Can I even punish that on parry?
It probably depends on where you're spaced. So parries add. Oh shit. Parry. Nice job, by the way, getting the win. Parries add 3 frames, I believe, to the safeness of a move, or like 3 more frames for you to punish on top of dropping shield drop. So let me actually look up what shield breaker is. Shield breaker is minus 23. It says here to shield break, so it might have been slightly more safe. So I mean, you definitely had probably around like 20 frames, but it was one of those distance things.
Yeah.
So maybe if you would have parried dash attacked, you probably would have caught me or something like that. But no, you were a lot more aware of the stuff there that we were talking about. Like you definitely made some mistakes. You know, you try and punish stuff that you can't punish. But it felt like you were like, okay, let me play a little bit slower. Let me try and just get pokey, put you at the ledge, play that awkward. You know, use your neutral B, put me in the awkward spot, and kind of keep your advantage there. The combos are a little tough. I mean, I'm SDIing your nairs and stuff, so I don't know if that's just why it's so hard for you. But
yeah,
you know, that's just part of the game. The higher level you go, players are going to get better at kind of escaping those combos, so that you can maintain an advantage state where it's not necessarily like a combo, but just kind of a general zone. Like, hey, I occupy the space, and now you have to get past it. That's going to do a lot for you.
Yeah.
So I like the adaptation from those 2 games for sure.
Somehow I actually parry that move more often.
Oh,
like the, like even online, and I don't. Like I don't know if it's just
be like you have the timing really down pat, and it's a very like visual move, so it's usually pretty generous in that sense. Definitely not easy to parry, I would say, but a little bit more clear for when you should go.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh crap, okay.
That's Lucina.
I don't think I've ever had anyone go that far out of the sword.
Oh, yeah, I was like, oh, you want to go all the way out there? Let's go out.
Okay. I love the 100.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't have a jump. I forgot I burned that.
No, I messed up the recovery. Like that first down tilt, you definitely could have done had you been ready for it. I tried to up B. No, solid stuff there on some of the interactions. I think you're something you can do with shield pressure, and this would probably benefit you a lot as a Game & Watch player, is so something might be at a spacing where it's not always the most comfortable. You're not always ready, because there are times where you definitely could be at B punishing me, but you're not. Maybe you opt for a grab, which I find a little interesting. But you know, it's okay if that first move is quote-unquote safe, and there's not even going to be a lot of those to you, but it's what are they doing after, because that can sometimes just make their first move almost irrelevant. Like, if I'm Olimar and I like purple side B, right, and I space it to where it's like -2 in this instance, and then I run up and I F-smash you, now you have 13 frames to work with, you know? Like those punishes, and that's how I like to treat characters like Chrom, right? If Chrom's jabbing my shield, then I'm like, okay, he jabbed once, it's -8. That's a little awkward to punish, but if he goes for a second jab, I'm fairing him every single time. So if you can kind of get inside the head of your opponent, like when they're, you know, if you take note, you're like, oh, they're using down tilt a lot here, they're using this a lot here, you know, that can really mess them up if you get a beat on their own button pressing. So I'm gonna go Olimar for the last couple games, and I want to see how you handle this.
Okay.
There we go. It's like you went high there, right? And you're not down airing even, so you're just falling, and that's free punish. Made that out.
Yeah.
Question though, isn't your up B the same invincibility as your air dodge, or is it faster?
The invincibility is frame 5.
On a B? Okay. Okay, so it's a little
Yeah.
better. Gotcha. Because I'm wondering, like, that's one of those, like, maybe it would have been better just to up B out of there. But that's also, you couldn't really, like, react / no. That was just one of those, I was in your head there.
Yeah. I was hoping Bear would last a little longer.
So even though, you know, you lost that game, I liked some of the stuff you did. I liked the dedicated attempt to kill the purple with that down smash. You know, even if you get hit or even if you don't get it perfect, you still killed one. And that cuts a lot of what I can do in half. I was liking a lot of the up B usage, kind of getting out of there, especially like the dash attack up B. Just abuse your buttons. They're good, right? There's a reason people don't like fighting Game & Watch. He frustrates them. It's because you have this very strong tools, and they're not perfect. But you saw, like, you upbeat. I tried to double jump up air, and I literally couldn't catch you.
Mhm.
So on certain matchups where you can kind of push that, then definitely do it. It's not a cure-all. You're not gonna be able to do whatever you want, like, but it's, you know, abusing what you can is really important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
That is unfortunate. Honestly, I think it was down air there. Down air, or at least maybe like a drop down nair. But I think the back air was going to be a bit tough because I could go into the stage. But like on a world stage, that'd be crazy.
I could attack it too, but that's fine.
And you know, that is, it's not easy when you're playing the ledge like that. If you're getting in a habit of doing drop down something, I will eventually hit you. Like, you will, you know. You didn't really roll from the ledge, I don't think, ever that game. You didn't drop, you know, you didn't regular get up that much. Like, if I'm threatening that ledge, you better pick something other than drop down, because I will eventually just kill you.
Yeah.
Because the thing about, like, Olimar too is my down air is not just spike. It's literally like a sex kick that lingers for like 7 or 8 frames. So it's, I mean, you won't even get spiked, but you'll still get hit, and that's just a really scary thing to occupy. I did that specifically because I knew you were going to roll after I told you. But I like the thought. You know, had I not told you, that would have been a really good, like, you know, had we not talked about that, probably would have been a really good mix-up. Not perfect, you know, they can always read the stuff, but it's definitely, I'm glad to see you mixing it up.
Yeah, I figured that. Triple.
Alright, yeah. Definitely got my ass.
Oh,
So,
I was hoping that one. It's
I
not.
feel like you use your smash attacks in a very tame way, which is interesting because of how kind of scary they are to get clipped by.
Mhm.
I feel like that's something you can play around with more, just kind of feeling out like, so, we can have that be the last game, and I can kind of give you some closing thoughts and wrap it up from there. Um, so the thing about like smash attacks like that, especially in Game Watch cases, people respect them a lot. They are
Mhm.
scared of them. Now you'll fight people that will punish them, and you can do things like that, but you know, sometimes you just need to have a general idea of where they're going to be and not necessarily the perfect, like, they will be right here moment to land those attacks. And I think you'd benefit a lot from that. You know, you hit the down smash barrier, then you up smash. You up smash somebody's landing. Good luck landing on this. And then you blow them up, right? You kill them super early.
Yeah.
And up smash, especially, I mean, startup's a bit slow, safe on shield. Um, so I think you playing around with those a bit more, and that's going to kind of bleed into the confidence aspect of it because you're definitely you were getting more confident as we were playing here, but you're gonna have to bring that general confidence with you when you play anybody, at least and that will stem from having those generic in a sense, but kind of just general game plans. Like I fight Olimar. Olimar has these win conditions. I have these ways to deal with him. Let's see how it goes, right? Like, oh, he can't really deal with up B that well. Up B, up B, up B, right? Like the initial up B is where I'm really good, but then the landing can be a little bit tough, so I need to be creative there. Those types of like thought process are going to help you really open it up. But I think you just have to kind of keep getting out of your comfort zones when you're going in and you're practicing with people and stuff like that. Try and play a bit more aggressive. You were playing some of these games and you were playing pretty aggressive. You were finding those the back airs, the forward airs, things like that because they both have very unique counterplay. If it's forward air, the best way to beat it is to go up and hit Game and Watch. If it's back air, a lot of the times the best way is to just shield it or dodge it. But if you space that back air really well, like you tipper it, they're probably not going to punish it out of shield, right? So you've got that leeway there, and then you can incorporate things like run up smash randomly, run up F tilt, dash attack. There's a lot of different ways to mix it up, and I think you were kind of doing it well. You just have to find a way to feel comfortable doing it overall, but the only way you can normalize that kind of confidence and that aggression to the rest of your playstyle is to do it more.
Okay.
But that being said, do you have any like questions or anything you were wondering or wanted to bring up?
Uh, okay. Well, since you're mostly an offline player, I've been playing a few locals recently,
Okay.
like Mask and everything, of course, right?
Yeah.
And how do you go back to playing online? Like, because every time I play, I just get really upset because I'm like, oh, it's this, you know?
Every
Like,
time you go back to online, you feel like it's just frustrating.
yeah.
I haven't played offline that much. I've done a little local, and I've got another one coming up that they did, and then I've done some offline Smash Fest. And for me, it's kind of the opposite. Funny enough, I feel like I've played so little offline relative to my online that it takes me a hard minute to adjust to offline. But going back, I mean, I was playing online before COVID even happened. It was something I used to supplement my practice a lot.
Hmm.
Um, so for me, it's always kind of felt natural, and I just consider the warm up aspect. Get in there, play some games.
Hmm.
You're going to be frustrated by online. I don't have a piece of advice to just remove that aspect of it. I mean, Smash Ultimate is a trash online game. It is not like the system is just terrible for it. Um, but what you can do is try and think about the different play styles and strategies you're kind of pulling forward. Like if you're trying to play very reactionary online, that's probably not going to work. So you might need to take a step back and go, okay, well I can't react, but what if I play a little bit more proactive and try and space in ways that maybe make it a little bit easier for me to react, kind of more outside of their range, things like that. Or try and work on your read game when you're playing online, so you can be like, I think they're going to do this here based on the information I've given them in the situation we're in, and try and increase your skill level in those aspects. And then when you go back offline, you can kind of plug back in the reactionary gameplay and things like that. And that's what I've done a lot of since I've been playing online. I've done a lot of like, I need to really slow down, figure out how to interact with my opponents, and work on my kind of slower paced camping game, things like that. And I'd like to think that it's helped a lot. And I feel like when I went to my local, I beat the shit out of everyone. Um, so it felt really good to play, and it wasn't. I feel like I wasn't stressing myself because for me, I've had to do a lot of that same stuff where it's kind of bouncing back and forth. But I think doing what I said and try and work on certain aspects online and reinforce those game plans. Like imagine how crazy you can be if you make this really hard to approach wall of like proactive, well-spaced gameplay, and then you go back online and now you add in the reactionary element, and now you're this crazy wall, but you can also play a little bit more aggressive and approach better. You know, you get this really good mix where you just have more options available to you. But it's not easy. I think just like a lot of warm up and really thinking about if you're getting frustrated because you're losing a certain way online, just think about what's going wrong and, you know, see if you got to be like, okay, I just can't play that way. And I've had to do that. If I fight a Rob, I can't fight him the way I want. Like, he mashes too much. It's not like within my human you know, possibilities for most of the time, because there's so much going on that I can't keep up with. So I have to adopt different strategies. But yeah, I'll get you this this video sent, you know, in the coming days and all that stuff. Hope it helped. And,
yeah, it did.
That's good. I'm glad. And I guess I'll see you around.
Thank you.
No problem. Have a good day.
You too.